This week on the Steam Machine podcast, he's got a fish on the reel and hooking. He's gonna reel it in till it is done. Cue the music! Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Steam Machine podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me as always is Destructo Bros.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Nate.
Willie is the one I am.
It is the one that he is.
That is the one that I is.
It is the one that he's be. Boys, how you doing? How you doing? Willie,
Yo,
you have a very bright yellow shirt on. I'm going to go with you first.
thank you. It's to ward off predators. Just kidding. It's actually for the Predators. It was a 5K that the Nashville Predators hockey team used to do. I don't know why they stopped doing it, but I think maybe they realized they were giving away tickets for cheaper than, they were charging admission for the 5K or something. So they're like, what? We're losing money on this.
I think it's really progressive that they had a team for people to be reintroduced into society after making mistakes in life. They have to let everyone know what they are. Like, that's legally required. So obviously, team name. But I think it's cool that they. I can't.
You gotta go knocking door to door. Excuse me, is your family home? I am a hockey player.
I'm a goon.
I'm a goon.
How you been, buddy?
Oh man, I'm doing really good. I know the last couple sessions I complained about having a lot of inflammation in my legs and haven't been able to get up and do much. And we've been playing so many nature-themed video games of late, between all the hiking and hunting and general moving around in Red Dead Redemption. And then, this nice fishing game that, I've just been wanting to get outside and move around. And I finally got healed up enough that I've been able to start making some use of my local, forest type park type place and doing some walking trails and stuff. And my ankle isn't quite good enough that I can go on the uneven trails, the trails that are muddy or have a lot of elevation differences. But, there's a couple paved beginner / wheelchair accessible trails that I've been going on and just getting outside more. And I feel amazing just getting more sunlight and stuff,
Yeah, definitely helps.
And I got back onto exercising as of, the 8th. So that's 10 days now total. I've been doing a daily exercise, doing at least one thing with my kettlebells, and then doing a little bit of calisthenic, running, power walking in place, trying to not stress my ankle too much.
That's what's up, dude. I really would like to get some kettlebells at some point.
Yeah, I can get you some programs too if you end up needing any, because there's a lot of stuff you can do with them depending on what weight you go with, and it's pretty flexible stuff, Let's see, what else did I want to bring up? Yes, my ankle's been doing a lot better, so I've been just generally trying to get out more. I've been also trying to keep myself from getting more inflammation, so I've been making some changes in my diet. So about as long as I've been exercising this, I've also been doing a pretty strict diet for anti-inflammatory things where absolutely zero alcohol, no red meat or fish except for whatever the family has for dinner. And so I've mostly been eating oatmeal for breakfast, which has been just really amazing. Just one packet of oatmeal and that's it for a while, and getting that extra fiber, getting that good flavor. And then a small lunch, one sandwich or a couple of fried eggs. And then,
I like that you mentioned oatmeal, dude, because I clicked on this website the other day and I am so tempted to actually give them a shot. It's one of those where you just put together a box and order it, but it's oatmeal. And it's all these crazy flavors of oatmeal. And they have your classics, you know what I mean? Strawberries and cream, maple brown sugar, all that kind of stuff. But then they got some that's cookies and cream, glazed donut, all these weird ass flavors, but it's oatmeal. And I'm like, man, I fucking love oatmeal. So I'm so tempted, because there are times the instant oatmeal that you get in the Quaker packs, I will just pour that shit into a bowl, put some milk on it, and eat it. I don't even heat it up. It's good cold. Like just eat it like cereal.
I don't know. To me, it being hot cereal is definitely part of the appeal, because it makes me feel like I'm just getting a more filling type of meal. Like it's like this gruel will power me until the next time I need to eat. You know.
Well, next time you're making it, just take a bite before you throw it in the microwave or in the pot, however you do it.
But yeah, I mean, I've just been eating the basic flavors too. Like you said, maple brown sugar, peaches and cream, and like some kind with like raisins and nuts in it. You know, just basics.
I like apple and cinnamon too.
Oh, that's a classic. I haven't got that yet, but that is definitely one of the ones to look out for. That is maybe the number, that or maple brown sugar feels like the Cheerios of instant oatmeal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when it comes to like packet breakfast, oatmeal over grits any day. Like if you're gonna do grits, get the fucking big thing of grits. Do it the old-fashioned way. Oatmeal though, instant packet, can't go wrong.
Got to get the kind with the little dinosaur eggs in them.
Oh, I missed that.
Shit, I forgot about those. Oh, man, I don't even know if they make that anymore.
They do. Or at least they did a couple years ago. Yeah.
Oh, man,
that's
I'm going to hunt something down.
Gonna hunt down some dinosaurs. Yeah, I've been doing that. And I've also been getting way back more into programming. I think I brought this up the last couple times, but I've been doing more stuff in Godot. I made myself I did the main tutorials from the website, and then I made myself a 3D Pong game, like using only 3D shapes and like a 3D camera and stuff. And it wasn't that impressive, but I sent it to you guys so you could at least see, like, this is me doing it without using a tutorial, just from my own head, how much of this can I make without needing help. And it ended up being a pretty complete game. And then I worked on a 2-hour-long Godot tutorial for making a 2D platformer, and that one was so super dense. Like every 5 to 10 minutes, I learned about as much as I did from 1 hour working on the Godot website tutorials. So now I'm all hyped up to work on my next game, which I haven't made enough of it yet that I wanted to say too much about what it is. But this one's actually going to be more game. Like not a commercial product or anything. I might not even distribute it outside of you guys, but I think you'll enjoy it when I finish it.
Now,
sweet.
You told me that you do not use the GAL extension, right?
Dalton's full of bad jokes today.
You thought that joke was so good you wanted to put it on the episode too after it struck out in the group chat.
That's because I know at least one person will laugh at it, and that's all I need. And that person is me.
All right. Fair enough. And yet, I've also been messing with Python some more. I've been working through this book, Automate the Boring Thing, or what's it called? Automate the Boring Stuff in Python. I'm through more than half of the book now, and it's been getting actually up to automating stuff. Like, after you learn regular expressions, there's file input and output. There's file, like, mass renaming and things like that, which is really cool. I built a program to cheat at a Wordle puzzle I struggled with. Just used regular expressions and a scraped dictionary of words I downloaded. So that was kind of fun just to see if I could do it, basically. And now I'm working on web scraping is the thing I'm doing now. So that could be really interesting. I get to learn more about it. Because I always forget how to use APIs the moment I'm not doing an API. So I might want to get a little more practice with that, get some cool data. Maybe I can make some interesting info about, like, hockey or baseball stats, you know? And then I've been playing just a shitload of virtual pinball lately as well.
Some of those that you've been sending have looked really cool.
Yeah. So, I think last time I talked about pinball, I was playing a lot of a table called Whitewater. And because I looked up a lot of lists of, like, beginner pinball tables or best ones to use on a virtual, like, pinball emulation software. And it came up a lot. And I started getting good enough at that one that I actually beat the default Grand Champion high score on it. So I started branching out and looking for more tables to play. And I figured out how to get Adam's Family working. I had a problem with it earlier, but I got it working. I'm not very good at Adam's Family, as it turns out, so I haven't been playing much of that. I still can't figure out how to fix Doctor Who. But I did start playing one called Monster Bash. And what Monster Bash is it's about, like, the classic Universal monsters forming a rock band.
Nice.
And so it has like really cool music. I swear to God, the voice of the Bride of Frankenstein sounds exactly like Katie Seagal. Like if it isn't Leela / Peg Bundy, I'm shocked because it sounds exactly like her. But so I told Paul I was playing that, and he was like, "Hey, if you like that, you should also look up Medieval Madness." And so I checked that one out, and yeah, I think that is my current new favorite pinball table. It's just really great. It's similar in gameplay to Monster Bash, but like I really quickly understood how to play it. There's like this castle in the middle of the board that you shoot at, and there's like the goal is you like need to defeat the evil king, the King of Pain, and he's got like 5 vassals that are like these lords that challenge you throughout the game. So it's kind of also like Black Knight, where there's a lot of shit talk from the game to you, and so I kind of dug that. But like each of the lords has like a theme to it. Like there's the Duke of Bourbon, who is super drunk, and because the game took place in the 90s, he's like, "I love you, man," and stuff like that. And there's the Earl of Ego, who's just really cocky. There's this French dickweed called Francois de Grimm, who just like constantly is like, "I will be rude to you." He might be my favorite one. There's like one dude who's like a New Jersey mobster called Lord Howard Hertz. And then there's...
No, they call me Howie Hertz.
Yeah, exactly. Lord Howard Hertz. But he's like, he's the one who's like, "Oh, we got a wise guy here. You'll sleep with the fishes." What's the other one called?
Yeah, you're a fucking wise guy, eh?
Yeah. Actually, he does have a bleeped fuck word in there. When he first comes on, sometimes it's like, "I'm Howard Hertz. Who the fuck are you?" Of course, it bleeps the fuck because it's a pinball game, But it's pretty cool. So to beat those guys, you have to like shoot at the castle. There's a huge castle decoration in the middle, and when you take out their castle, like knock out you got to lower the drawbridge, then knock down the gate, and then hit it. You like I hit it a bunch of times to do that. And when you do it, like defeats them, and the castle like shakes around, and it looks really cool. And then the Lord makes like a pithy comment, and then you get to fight the next one. And there's other stuff happening, like a peasant's revolt, saving damsels from dragons. There's a lot of multi-ball. Like, it's really easy to get multi-ball, because basically if you do anything, then you shoot it into the Merlin's little hole, and like that gives you a multi-ball. So I love when there's a lot of multi-balls, because that's like the only thing I understood when I first got started.
Gotta put those multi-balls in Merlin's hole. Got it.
Into Merlin's little hole.
Yeah. But the thing is, there's like one little slot in there that like activates like half the shit in the game. So like I always think of it as Merlin's hole, because the first, like, if you hit it right at the beginning of the game, it activates Merlin's magic. But yeah, it's just Merlin's hole to me.
It's still Merlin's hole to me. Damn it!
It's my new punk band name, Merlin's Hole.
By Merlin's hole.
Is Courtney Love involved?
Oh God.
No, I don't feel like committing suicide, quote unquote.
Jesus.
Wow, you're too well adjusted to have a podcast then. Yeah, so that's been really fun. So, I guess that's most of everything I really want to talk about. Just like exercise program and making more, I want to make games. I've been, I haven't practiced doing music in a while, so I need to do that as well. But I've been, doing a little pixel art, doing a little coding, getting my stuff together. Now it's coming up to the design phase where I'm actually going to put out something vaguely new. Like, it's going to be ugly, but it's just going to be something to pass along to my friends while I'm learning the environments and all that.
I want to see Willie's version of Ultima. Not Ultima, but a game like that. So it doesn't it's not like super heavy in graphical department. Like, you can just focus on making it mechanically sound.
If I was going to do something like that, I would probably try to make something more like an NES Dragon Quest game.
Okay. A little less freedom, but more story-driven.
A more story-driven, simpler battle system, yeah.
Don't have to type north every time you want to go up.
Yeah, all you gotta do is hire Akira Toriyama to do your monster designs.
Let me get my Ouija board.
Yeah.
Man.
Rest in peace to the goat.
No kidding.
For sure. So what about you, Nate? What you been up to, my good sir?
Yeah, I guess it's been kind of an eventful couple weeks. I went and got my hearing aids. So I've been wearing those nonstop for the last couple days and getting used to that. And it's so funny because now when I take them out at night, whenever I'm going to bed, I'm like, I can't hear shit. So, I didn't realize how bad my hearing was. And now I'm starting to get used to actually being able to hear again. And Kayla's just sitting on the couch talking to me like, honey, why are you yelling? She's like, I'm not. This is how loud I used to have to talk for you to be able to hear me. I'm adjusting to you being able to hear.
Wow.
It's a good woman you got there, Nate.
I know. So it's really interesting. It's pretty cool. Like, I didn't know this about hearing aids now, but like they're all like super Bluetooth involved and everything now. So like I can just be sitting here at my desk, like have my hearing aids in, like working, and like I feel like I listen to a podcast. Put my podcast on through my hearing aids, so it goes directly to there, and I'm just listening to a podcast while working. And if somebody talks to me, I could still hear it from my.
I did not know that was a thing, the Bluetooth, until I saw a meme the other day that was a kid playing Call of Duty, and it was like, why can't I hear anything? And then it was like Grandpa with new Bluetooth and
I saw that.
things, having a flashback to World War II or whatever. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, so like it's been really good. I can definitely see an improvement in my quality of hearing, obviously, and just like the little funny things like that. Because like I used to be like I'd sit on the couch next to Kayla and she'd be watching TikToks on her phone and everything, and I'd just be playing a crossword or something. Or now, but now I'm like I can watch TikToks too because she couldn't hear mine while I hear hers. So it's just like it's really interesting how now like I just have this my own world I can go into with my hearing aids, which I don't know if that's the best thing in the world or the best use for them, but it's nice.
Nate retreats into his memory palace and is never seen again.
But I will say the one thing they don't work the best with is like if you have like headphones on. Like I think I would need like the really big cans in order to wear them, because like the part that hears stuff is like on the top. It's not like the part that's in your ear. It's like the little piece that rests on top of your ear. So if that's like not covered all the way, like I'm hearing everything out in the world, not through my headphones as much. So it's just a really interesting thing. So I kind of want to get some like the big cans like I used to have back in the day again. But yeah, but like overall, these have been really cool to have. I can hear things again. It just, I feel like it's been an improvement to my quality of life.
I do not mean anything like by this, but I'm excited for the next time that you're near the beach, because like to me, one of the most peaceful things in the world is hearing the waves crash when it's quiet at the beach. And like, I don't know personally if you were able to hear that or not with the way things were. So like now, if you can, dude, it's so peaceful and relaxing. It's just a zen thing.
Well, it's not like I've been totally.
I'm happy for you, dude.
It's not like I've been totally deaf or anything. It's just impressive, like how everything is so much louder and I can hear things again. So like, I really would like to be in like a crowded situation, like, and be able to see how they work there. Like, because like like I went to a conference a few months ago. I think I might have even mentioned this on the podcast when I was talking about getting them in the first place. It was like, and I could not hear the speaker at all over all the background noise and everything else. So I'm like, I'm wondering if like if I go to a conference now, am I going to be able to hear that speaker a lot better? You know what I mean? But like even just like being what's like we went to the hospital to get these, right? Because they're very, very much the high grade medical ones. So like walking through the hospital, like I usually can't hear my wife talking to me, and just walking back from the like part where the audiologist down to the car to the parking garage again, I could hear her like walking through the hallways and stuff when I could not have before. So just really cool.
Trademark Steam Machine Podcast, Willie, with you getting into coding.
Uh-oh.
We should make, like, when speakers are doing their thing at a live junction like that, we should make some sort of microphone that would transmit Bluetooth that people could connect, like, earbuds or their hearing aids to, that it's like that dude is speaking directly into their ears instead of having to, like, try to hone in on a giant crowd over, like, these loud speakers and everything. I think that would be cool.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
You could probably use whatever the technology they use to do silent discos is, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot that. Yeah, that could definitely work.
Again, trademark Steam Machine Podcast. 4/17/2024.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. I thought you were going to suggest like auto subtitling or auto translating or something, but no, I think that's more of a hardware problem than a software problem, though, but still pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, other than that, I've been playing a lot of Yakuza 4. I'm excited to get into that when we talk about that for the next episode. Spoilers if you didn't already know, but we've already talked about it, so it's not really a spoiler.
Spoilers
Yeah.
if you didn't listen to the last episode of the podcast. You know how like the beginning of every episode of Dragon Ball Z spoils what happened on the last one? Ding dong.
Hey, you know. So yeah. What about you, Dalton? What have you been up to, man?
Well, I got a handful of things. Work has been ridiculous.
But you're out of the Easter rush at least now.
Yeah, we're not on 6-day mandatories right now, but starting this weekend, our ordering system is going to be down for like 4 or 5 days. So they've been having us ordering ahead, and that has been the biggest pain in the dick because it's like, how am I supposed to predict what this store is going to need a week from now? Like, so, okay, for example, if I was working Wednesday, they want me to do my Wednesday stops and then pull the small store orders, pull all your orders from Friday and do those as well. And then go in Thursday, do your Thursday stops, then pull all your orders from Saturday. And it was just like that. So then Tony went on vacation, so I was covering his route. So then I had my 2 days off. They bring me back. They stick me on a different route for 2 days and then put me back on Tony's route. So it was like I had to go and deal with just ridiculousness when I came back, and it's just been a clusterfuck. So it's been very stressful. So that being said, I have dove back into playing some Skyrim. There is a mod pack called Tempest Maledictum.
Yeah, you sent us a couple screenies from this, and I was like, what the hell is this? Because it didn't look at all like Skyrim, except for I recognized the Elder Scrolls like status bar.
Yeah, it is very pretty. Whatever mods that they got running behind the scenes, I haven't read through all of them, but it is made by the people who did my favorite Fallout 4 mod pack. So I know that, like, because the one they did for Fallout 4, I can't remember the name right offhand, but it's the most stable version of a modded Fallout 4 playthrough I've ever played, right? And that's saying something. So when I saw that they had one and it was based around Legacy of the Dragonborn, the museum, I was like, I'm in. Take my money, even though you don't charge anything. So it's free, but still.
Take my Monopoly money.
Take my Monopoly money.
Take my symptoms.
Take my Monopoly money, please.
Hey, no respect.
I went to the doctor the other day and told him that my wife said she couldn't look me in the face anymore, that I was too ugly. He told me, do me a favor, lay on your stomach. So anyway, I've been playing some of that. I downloaded a Fallout New Vegas mod pack because today I started the Fallout show.
Oh, yeah, you made brief mention of this, yeah. People have been real hyped for it. How you liking it so far?
I'm on episode 3, and I am very impressed. Nate, your boy is real fucking good in that show.
Walton Goggins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that he is, yeah.
Yeah. That motherfucker is funny.
He's fucking hilarious, dude. Like, that guy does not get the credit he deserves. I think he kind of is now getting it, but, like, for a long time, I don't think people realized how funny that dude was.
Like, yeah, he's got some good lines. None that I can think of right now because I'm baked, I'm not going to lie, but I've been really, really enjoying it. The girl who's the main character looks familiar to me.
Yeah, she looks super familiar to me, too, so I had to look her up. She's in another show that I watch called Yellow Jackets.
See, I've never even heard of that, so I'm like, I don't know where I know her from, but she looks very familiar.
She reminds me a lot. Oh, my God. Why is my brain blanking on her name? Keep going. I can't remember.
Well, she's been very impressive so far.
No, she looks a lot like a young Susan Sarandon to me.
Huh.
I can see that. I can totally see that.
Susan Sarandon looks more like a young Susan Sarandon than you would expect.
Yeah, no kidding.
Susan Sarandon's fine.
Yup.
Like, just straight up. You know who else I didn't expect to be attracted to until I saw her naked in a movie, and then I was like, you know what? I would. Diane Keaton.
All right.
So, like, in that movie, Something's Gotta Give with Jack Nicholson, there's a scene where he accidentally walks in on her changing. And I was like, you know what?
Would.
Not bad. Would. Yeah, would. And it wasn't even morning.
Stupid.
Morning Wouldn't would be a great name for a segment if I could figure out what the hell it would be.
That's another good punk band name.
Yeah.
Oh,
Morning Wouldn't. Clive fucking the Morning Wouldn't.
Clive fuck. That's such an English sounding like band leader name.
Clive fuck. Tremendous. Yeah, there was a I won't call it a
Comeback.
a plot twist, but there was like a twist that I didn't expect coming in the first episode. But it was one of those things that like I noticed something about a certain character and I was like, why is that there? And then it's revealed why, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch. And it was just, man, Fallout's good. It's worth your time. It's 8 episodes.
I've heard nothing bad about it. I've heard it's really good.
I think between that and The Witcher, there is a renaissance of redeeming going on for gaming media as far as shows and movies and stuff. Because Halo, while Halo was cool, like we talked about this in the Discord earlier, if you want to join bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. Man, they fucking killed it for me when they took off Master Chief's helmet. I'm like, I get it. The actor wants to show his face, so he gets the screen time recognition and whatever. But like, motherfucker, I don't want to know what Master Chief looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, that air of mystery was always cool. It was like, no, dude, I don't need to know what he looks like. He's a badass Spartan in a suit of armor. He doesn't need to piss, shit, or eat. He's a bad motherfucker. He lives only to kill.
Dude, I'm just honestly glad we are living in a society where that's one of our biggest complaints about video game related media is that Master Chief showed his face. Not that these shows suck, because there's been so many good video game related media. It's like the Sonic movie, the Mario movie, the zombie one. That was really good.
Oh, The Last
of Us was super good. Like, Fallout's good. Halo's not bad. It just has its things that people don't like about it. Like, video game stuff is good now. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Because the days of, like, Uwe Boll doing Blood Rain and Far Cry and just fucking them up. Like, hopefully those are behind us. Though I do enjoy the campiness of the OG Mario movie, but that's more nostalgia than anything.
Yeah.
And I love the Mortal Kombat movies. I haven't seen the newest Mortal Kombat movie, though I hear that it was just as campy and fun as the old ones.
Nice.
So
it had some good fight scenes. I've seen some of the fight scenes, and they were pretty cool.
Let me give a shout out. I think it's still around. That YouTube series, Mortal Kombat Legacy. Holy fuck. It was like, if you want like serious and good Mortal Kombat media content, that YouTube show was like ridiculous, and the production value in it was insane.
Nice.
There was a Scorpion versus Sub-Zero fight on that. That's like a 10-minute long fight scene.
Nice.
And it's cinema. It really is. So what else have I been up to? Playing a little Albion Online.
I saw that in your activity. I don't really know too much about that game.
So it takes place in Albion. And
so like the old-timey phrase for like England and Scotland, or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought you were just being a jackass.
No. Yeah, no, it takes place in Albion. And it is considered a sandbox MMO. So like when you start off in the little starter town, there's like a dude who gives you some quests. And he's like, hey, he basically tells you, I'm the guy that gives you these quests. Once these quests are done, there are no more quests in the game. Like, once you're done with the tutorial, go have fun. Do whatever the fuck you want. He doesn't say it in those such words, but that's basically the gist of it. So I ran through the quests, did them, and now they're like, go out and explore the world. You could be a trader, a dungeon delver. You can get really into PvP. That's what most people, they do in that game. I just want to be a crafter and stuff. But I'm just, playing it here and there and having a good time with it. Getting my universe mode in 2K24 almost to the way I want it to be. Still got some tweaks. Need to download the sound editor again. And now that 2K24 is compatible, and take all of the weird, generic, like 80s 1, 80s 2, 80s 3, and replace them with actual songs. So my creative people can come into some death metal or some rap or even like a Nile the Nightmare song.
Hey.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. So I need to get on that, dude. But it's like I took everyone that you would consider like a mid-carder and put them on SmackDown. And everyone who's on Raw is a main event. The women have their own show. It's called WCW, Women's Championship Wrestling. Then we have and we have NXT, and then we have the beneath NXT, the quote indie, if you will, GJPW, Grumpy Jeff's Pro Wrestling, because I figured out how to upload images to the server, and then you can download them. So available if anyone else besides me has 2K24, you can download the Grumpy Jeff Pro Wrestling Power Hour logo. You can also download the Steam Machine Podcast, a couple different logos of that. You can download the JRPG Report logo, the Yabs Pod NWO style logo. So there are some wrestlers, I think Blade mainly, that I can remember right off the top of my head. His signs, like when he's it's so cool. We're in the crowd and we're fighting. Big move happens. Boom. Steam Machine Podcast sign goes up. It's cool as fuck.
You mean to tell me the crowd isn't just a bunch of blurry 2D layers anymore?
No, the crowd are legit 3D rendered characters.
I think the last time I saw a WWE game, it was like the crowd was a bunch of 3D models, but it's also like the same 15 guys repeated, and if it's the same guy, they were in sync.
Yeah, it was absolutely hilarious when they would like just kind of cross over, so you'd get the same black dude in the same purple shirt sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
And just, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was fucking fantastic.
These twins.
There was one of the games way back in the day, was it 2K14 or like 2K13 or something like that? In universe mode, you would just see random like actual members of the roster in the crowd. So it'd be like you'd be wrestling and Vince McMahon's just sitting in like third row. It's just weird.
We had to paper the place, so we have 19 canes.
They're all over the place. Red cane, blue cane, green cane.
Sugar cane.
Sugar cane helms.
Sugar cane. Sugar cane / hurricane. Sugar cane.
Sweet like molasses. Oh man, there was one other thing, and I do not remember what it was. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember what it was. This is just a cute thing about Lilith, and then we can move on.
Yay.
So I was throwing the stick for her, and it's like the stick that she has that I play catch with her is probably a good 1.5 feet long. Like, just, it gets some good distance, and it's funny to watch her carry a stick that long. So when I threw it the other day, it went into her little pen that's outside that I take her and I put her in the mornings. If she doesn't have her harness on for me to walk her with the leash. And she goes to try to get out, and the doorway is about yay wide. I don't know. I have to turn sideways to squeeze through it. To give a listener, I'm a fat guy. But it's not a very big space, and she's trying to get through with the stick, but she's holding the stick in the middle. So she just can't figure out how to get out, right? And I'm just cracking up at this. And finally, she drops it and picks it up on the end and walks out with it like that. She did it that one time, and every time I throw that stick in there now, she goes in there, grabs it by the end, and walks it out like that. I was like, damn. You smart little girl. I am so impressed.
Learning. Well, she is an Aussie, right? Those are pretty smart dogs.
Yeah. She's very smart. Very smart. Yeah. And she's about 6 months now. So she's getting to the point where her retaining ability is becoming better.
Nice.
Now, if I can get her to come when I tell her to come here, come here. That's a 50-50 right now. And she's easily distracted by, I don't know, a butterfly or something. She just turn and start chasing it around. She's a sweetie. I'm happy she's asleep right now.
True.
She's somewhere around here.
Timing worked out well because I finished the last thing I wanted to do right before, like, right as you were putting her to bed, and we like basically got back at the same time.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly. But that's all I got. I'm sure there was something else, but it doesn't matter. I don't remember what it was.
It's always a million things.
I could yammer some more because I mentioned pinball, but also like we've been doing a fishing game. I found when I was talking to Paul about pinball, he mentioned that a couple of the ones he played on. Let's see, the emulator I've been using where I just download tables straight up is called Visual Pinball, but there's also something on Steam called Pinball FX that has a mix of original and licensed tables, and that's where Paul said he played Medieval Madness and Monster Bash was. Like you can buy them through that and play it on there, and so I got on there to check what other free tables there were, and I saw one called Fishtails, which I'd also seen recommended as a good beginner table. So I played Fishtails for a little bit, and it's pretty cool. It's a fishing based game. It's got like fun little country music playing when you're going fishing, and like a painting of a dude with a hat who says something along the lines of like, "Old fishermen don't die; they just smell that way." And, like, there's a whole bunch of, like, ramps. Like, it's really fun to just combo the loops in the middle of the table. But my favorite thing about that one is the multi-ball lock. You go up this ramp, and it goes into something that just looks like the reel off of a fishing line. And the ball just goes in there, and then it makes a little reeling sound, and it cranks over. And when you get 3 balls stuck in there, then it shoots out the multi-ball.
And if you get to 100,000 points, it goes, fishtail, a blub blub.
Well, the Tails theme is like a lot of the bonuses and stuff are about like lying about the fish you caught. Like there's one called Stretch the Truth, for instance.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
It's a lot of fun. I'm not good at that one yet, but I definitely feel like I'm enjoying it. It's a good theme. And then on the other topic of fishing, I saw a video of this game being played. I watched like 20 minutes of it and was like, okay, it's a free demo. I'm going to download it myself and check it out. So there's this game called Normal Fishing. I don't know if you guys ended up getting around to it. I sent the link to the demo to y'all, but so basically how it is it's like it starts off with like this little monochrome like RPG type screen. You're talking to your wife and she tells you about fishing and she talks really weirdly or whatever. And you go out and you kind of have like the boat down RPG type, kind of like Nate. If you remember like the NES games like Black Bass and Blue Marlin, it's kind of like that kind of control. You got the boat you control around and then go for the fish. And you can catch up to like 5 fish in a day. That's how the time passes. And then there's like special events that happen, people in the town to talk to and all that. And as you progress, the game kind of gets stranger and stranger. The fish are like original creations. Like there's not a rainbow trout, there's a sunbow trout. It's even better than a rainbow. And the fish start to approach some like dredge levels of strangeness the more you play. And it only lasts about 90 minutes to play through the demo, but I thought it was really satisfying, and it definitely makes me curious for the full version whenever it comes out.
Nice.
Is there when you say they start getting dredge levels, so you're saying there's kind of like a Lovecraftian horror-esque feel to it?
There's definitely some stuff going on. I won't say it's exactly Lovecraftian. It's a different type of thing, but there's definitely that kind of element to the game, yes.
Okay. I remembered the other thing I wanted to bring up.
Yay!
Dane had also shared this in the Discord. Super Eye Patch Wolf, who I major shout out, he's a great YouTuber, put out a video about fake video games. So like people who do like screenshots of games that don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like in the game, style looking.
So things like the Godzilla creepypasta, stuff like that?
Yeah, all the way up to like he did talk about some of the creepypastas about like spirits being in games. Like the Zelda one, I think is the one that's one of the famous ones.
Yeah, the Majora's Mask creepypasta, yeah.
Yeah. But he did this whole thing. The video is funny because he goes on this whole thing for like an hour and a half, and he's like, and it was more like an hour, and he goes, and I guess that leads us to the reason I did this video. So you could say that this whole hour and 20 minutes that you've been listening to has been the intro. And then he goes into like 30 minutes talking about what he's actually wanting to talk about. But it's this thing called Verimis. I think it's Verimis. Vermis, I believe is how it was spelled. I could be wrong. Dane, correct me if I am wrong. But it's an entire game story, fake game thing, horror game, told through a strategy guide.
Huh.
And it's like, it's not a real game, but you get everything that you can piece together through this. And I was like enthralled listening to him describe this to the point that I want to hunt this down, even if it's just a PDF. You know what I mean? I want to hunt this down and look through it because I was like, this is what Dark Souls wanted to be. Like, the way that and the fact that this game doesn't exist hurts me because I'm like, this game would be so bleak and depressing, but it would make such a good Souls style RPG. And I almost wonder if there was some influence there as far as tone and tonality goes, but like, man, it was like, this shit would make such a cool D&D setting. But again, it would be like not a happy D&D setting. Like, it's very bleak, but it was super interesting to think about all these different worlds that people have created that are just inference. Like, there's no actual game for you to go and play, but there's these entire stories that are told through, quote, gameplay. Pets Cop was another one that he talked about, which is another one that's like super cool, but it's fake. It's not real.
There's no game. It's literally just a series of YouTube videos.
Yeah, but it's just super neat. So I recommend that video. Super
cool.
Eye Patchable.
I'll have to try to find that one out because that one seems pretty cool. I've watched a few of his things before, and it's always really good. Like, I think he did the one on The Undertaker that was just incredible.
Yeah, I think he did. I know he did one on Roman Reigns that was like basically about the art of wrestling storytelling.
There was a really good one about Garfield as well.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, well, what has the internet done to Garfield?
Yeah,
that was really good.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So boys, we did some reeling, some kiss stealing, reeling dealing, fish flying, fish frying, lure flying, sons of guns. Yeah, there we go. Came around full circle. We played. I want to say the Angler Call of the Wild because it's the Hunter Call of the Wild, but this one's Call of the Wild, the Angler. They had to change their fucking way they do their shit.
So they aren't next to each other in your game list if you have them both on Epic, for instance.
Yeah, that's the biggest part that drives me fucking nuts. It's like if it was the Angler, it would be right before the Hunter. It would be right there.
Yeah.
Next to one another. Pretty. Just, drives me crazy. Yeah. Before we even get into anything, though, we got the O-dubs. The obligatory... I guess this would be the O-soup. Because this is a obligatory fandom bullshit. Are you okay with it?
Yeah, I knocked over my phone by accident.
Oh, I was like, is there an earthquake? Do we need to pause? So this is a long description. From the creators of the Hunter Call of the Wild comes a relaxing open world fishing experience. Welcome to the official Call of the Wild, the Angler fandom wiki. That is it. The next paragraph says, we're a collaborative community website about Call of the Wild, the Angler that anyone, including you, can build and expand upon. And there is nothing. No one has built upon it. No one has expanded upon it.
Well.
So, if anybody wants to submit this episode to the wiki fandom page, cheers. At least people could find it and be like, oh, okay, somebody's talked about this fucking game. So we can dive right into first thoughts. I know we're right off the bat, I'm sure I can speak for all of us. There are going to be Ultimate Fishing Simulator comparisons in this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is my main
point of reference for this kind of game. Reference.
That and the fishing in Red Dead.
True.
Right? Like, because I think credit where credit's due, the fishing in Red Dead's really good.
Yeah.
So first impressions. Nate.
Yeah, so first impressions on this one. It was another good-looking fishing game. The thing that really kind of jumped out to me when I first logged into it was it had more of a guided experience to the introduction. Like, I mean, here's our first comparison to Ultimate Fishing Simulator. You jump into this game, there's a narrator talking to you. They give you missions to do to get yourself started and acclimated with how to fish, a little tutorial mission, and on from there. There's missions to do in this game. So I thought that was a really cool way that it drops you in. It's not ice cold when it drops you in. It gives you things to do. It gives you goals. It gives you the basics of what you need to do to start fishing and go out there and have some fun. What I thought about it too is like, it starts off really simple. You're just catching little fish from the end of a pier, and it lets you really move on from there. The graphics on this game, I prefer the way this game looks to Ultimate Fishing Simulator. I think it's a better looking game. And the interface in this game, I also think is a little better than Ultimate Fishing Simulator. So yeah, I think I'll stop there with first thoughts and let you boys kind of dive in a little bit.
All right. Mr. Fantastic. What about you?
So, I kind of want to build. Nathan started off with like the beginning to the mechanics as far as the gameplay of fishing goes. But what he didn't mention is this game isn't just a fishing game. It's also a full open world. Like the non-DLC area is a park in Wyoming that is like several square miles, it seems like, and you can travel it in real time or like rent a Jeep or whatever to get around quicker. There are fast travel points. There's a lot of exploration to get to where you want to go. And like, I found myself just starting off and just chasing, walking down trails, trying to find new points of interest just to encounter them, just to see, how big this world is, because it really felt very immersive. Like, even the sounds really got me, with the sounds of the water when you're near it, sounds of bugs and birds as you were moving around. Like, it was a really immersive game right from the jump, and I just wanted to explore the park immediately.
Yeah.
Like, I think I spent about as much time exploring as I did actually fishing by the time we recorded.
Yeah. I really, like, when I first logged into it, I was like, okay, because I kind of knew what to expect because I had played The Hunter. Right? Fucking beautiful game. And I like the fact that it's a fishing game, but they reward you for exploring. Like there are collectibles to find and things like that around. Like I walked up to this pier to go fish on this little pond that I had found, and there was just like a squirrel statue.
Yeah.
And it was just like, hey, pick me up. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So immediately I was hooked because I'm like, oh shit, there's fucking collectibles.
He was hooked.
Hey. Hook, line, and sinker. It was just I was really impressed. We can touch on this a little bit later. One of the things that did jump out to me immediately is I'm not a huge fan of the casting mechanic.
I feel that. Because yeah,
I was say you don't have a lot of control.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like, especially now that I've got a longer line, it's like I can cast super far. Or I can cast kind of far, but I have not figured out how to just like drop it not that far in front of me, and that annoys the shit out of me because I'm like, dude, no, I want to cast right here because I can see some fish, but no, I have to cast way out there and then reel closer to them.
Yeah, I find that really annoying too because like it feels like you should have a good amount of control of it because like the way you cast in this game is you hold your left trigger, then you use your right stick to flick your line out there, and it feels like you should be able to control that with like either how hard you flick it or how fast you flick it, or if you just go partially up and or not flick it all the way. But no, everything you do seems to flick at the exact same amount of distance.
Yeah, because if you try to flick it slowly, it tells you, "Oh, cast too slow."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Fuck off!" It's not a cast too slow. It's a genuinely nice, soft cast. You motherfucker! Like, let me draw. let me cast 10 feet in front of me if I want to. But so that's one thing I think Ultimate Fishing Simulator did better.
Yeah, agreed.
But. Like, the thing is I know that that's a possibility because I play Session, which is a skateboarding simulator, and you do things like you ollie based on how hard you flick the stick. It's how much oomph your dude is going to throw into it. So I know that, like, things like that are, like, the capability is there. So, like, if anything, the developers could learn from a skateboarding game to make their casting better. As weird as that sounds, like, it's fucking doable. And I did they had a survey. I almost said review. I'm like, that's not the right word. They had a survey thing on their main page, and I did it the other day, and that was one of the things that I put in the feedback. Was like, man, this game would be a damn near perfect fishing experience if you fixed the casting.
Yeah.
So the base game, correct me if I'm wrong. This game's still in early access, correct?
I honestly don't know.
I don't think so.
Let me go double check.
Yeah, I was under the impression this was a full release, but
yeah, they're selling like 4 DLCs for it. So
when I first got this game, it was in early access. Okay, so it's not in anymore. Well, that might make me be a little harsher on it because I was thinking it was still in early access.
Fair enough.
Okay, so there are things then that I just hope they patch eventually. Basically. So with the main game that you get, you have 1 reserve unlocked. I currently have 2, which you guys were able to pop into Norway because I was online with it. So you were able to join into my game, which I thought was cool.
That is super cool that you can one person you know owns the DLC and they're playing, you can hop in and play the DLC with them. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe it's the same way on the Hunter as well. Or actually, I think I've read that when you're playing online on the Hunter, you can just go into any of the reserves. You have to buy them for single player. But either way, like that's a kudos to the developers for doing a system like that. I think that's very pro player. Instead of being like, oh, you want to play with your friends? You have to give us more money.
Yeah, for sure.
But so did you guys find any favorite fishing spots?
You know, I honestly really just liked anywhere that there was a dock to stand at. I really like just being able to fish off a dock because it just reminds me of like when I was in college, I'd just go find somewhere to stand and fish. You know what I mean? So like I just always kind of enjoyed that kind of process, and I feel like this game really gave you a lot of that, and especially because it's a freshwater fishing environment too. So it's like a lot of fish that I've caught in real life too. So it's just really cute and fun to be able to do that in a game.
Yeah, I'm used to a lot of like casting from the shore around where I'm at. So that was most of the time what I did. I also like fishing off a bridge. Don't know why.
I actually really enjoyed the first time it sent you to a bridge to fish. Like I was kind of surprised that was even an option, and it felt really good to me.
And I know like one of the first things I did when I got a boat was went and parked that motherfucker by a bridge and went fishing because there's always fish by a bridge. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is about bridges, but like if you're ever hungry and you need to eat, find a bridge, fish there. You will catch a fish.
Yeah, there's lots of structure by the bridge because there's a lot of place for fish to hide and live and everything because there's already that built-in structure. And then with every bridge, there's also it does a lot of, because like, you have the big poles going down into the water, and those usually trap a lot of foliage and branches and things, which give more places for fish to hide. Just like all the structure that they like to be around.
Fish facts.
Fish facts.
Yeah, I had found a favorite spot. There was during the Golden Tour, which is one of the quests that they give you, which thank God for vehicles. The Golden Tour would have taken forever if you had to do the whole thing on foot.
Until you guys told me that the Jeep rental is free, I'd started off trying to get to areas strictly on foot, and it is very real time as far as walking a kilometer goes.
Oh yeah. Which I'm impressed by. Like that's really cool in my opinion. And
the world felt vast and varied too, honestly.
Yeah. And the one thing I will go ahead and say is like I really did enjoy all the time we spent with Ultimate Fishing Simulator. But the one thing this game does so much better than that game is just the actual feeling of going to different spots and fishing. Because like in Ultimate Fishing Simulator, you could go to the place that like whatever reserve is what they're called. The angler, but we'll call them reserve. You go to one reserve and then you could like do a couple fast travels and walk a little bit, but there wasn't what felt like a whole lot of freedom to go and explore different places on each one of those maps. This is one map in one area that comes with the base game that I feel like I haven't even explored half of the map yet after like 10 or so hours of gameplay on it. So I'm just like, this map is pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah, and that quest really shows that off, which I think is one of the reasons that it's probably one of the first quests they give you. Yeah, they're like, go see it.
Yeah, when I first started playing this game, I was like, Call of the Wild, more like Breath of the Wild, because it has a very similar sense of exploration. You even find towers that give you more areas.
It's very Ubisoft of them.
Yeah. It's a little Ubisofty too, yeah.
But on the Golden Path tour, it takes you by a waterfall with a river.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed fishing in that river and just looking at the waterfall. Because again, this game is really pretty. So it was just like, man, this is cool as shit.
And some of the highlight regions, like that waterfall, there was a dam that I thought was really cool looking too. Like, everything does feel like you're really moving around. And because it takes place in Wyoming, like, there's different, basically, biomes. You know, there's very foresty areas, there's a marshy area, there's mountainous zones.
One of the things I also appreciated is that, like, all of the walking paths, even the paths that were, like, going down cliffs with stairs and stuff like that, were wide enough for a vehicle, because I definitely drove a Jeep down all of that shit.
Yeah. And there's not too much punishment if you flip your Jeep or anything like that.
No, I will tell you, I rage quit this game one day.
What caused that?
One time, I was at this town, and I was looking on the map, and there was like a path up a good walk to this lake that was kind of secluded up by itself. I was like, I want to go fish up there. So I walked all around this town looking for a vehicle rental place. There wasn't one. I was like, God damn it. Okay, I'll walk. So I walked. Took me like 10, 15 minutes to get where I was going, like we talked about with the real-time walking distance. I got up there. I'm fishing. Didn't catch dick a shit. Go to switch my position. I'm walking on a rock, like real life, fall off the rock, land in the water.
Oh, no.
It doesn't spawn me on the shore right there at that lake. It spawns me back at the fucking town. And I just went, you know what? Alt F4. I'm done for now.
Yep. I can definitely understand the feeling on that.
I was just like, you motherfucker. So I loaded up, like, I think it was either I loaded up Yakuza or WWE and went and played that instead.
Yeah, so the game is pretty generous with, like, you can jump off of basically a 4-story observation tower, but if you fall any further than that, or if you get into deep water at all, it resets you, and sometimes it's really weird with where it actually puts you.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, like, sometimes I feel like I'd be driving the Jeep, and I would hit a rock that was just slightly too tall, and it would just, boom, come to a complete stop. And I was like, damn, son, you couldn't have just drove over that?
I did feel like that. Driving the Jeep was especially unforgiving. Like, it comes to a cold stop when you hit most everything. It steers really jumpily.
I felt like the boat controlled much better.
Yeah.
But then again, like, you're on the water, so it's not as many
things to avoid.
Obstacles in your way. Yeah. I will say, as far as the actual fishing mechanics, pretty realistic as well, as far as sometimes I would cast and my bait would sit there for 10, 15 minutes before I got a nibble.
Yeah. I really do feel like compared...
Hot damn.
Like, especially when you, like, compare this one to Ultimate Fishing Simulator, I really feel like in this game in particular, it is way less afraid to just let you sit there with your cast out doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was always nice to hear the ting, ting, because something was hitting my thing, and then all of a sudden it would come up, strike!
Yeah. And
it didn't say anything, but in my head I heard a girl, strike! Oh, it did, like, hot shots. But
yeah, it's, like, really made me grateful for the points of this game. Once, like, not really grateful, but, like, it made me change the way I fished, just basically doing more lure fishing than anything else, because at least that's an active input while you're playing, rather than just letting it sit out there and staring at it, waiting for hopefully something to bite it.
Last night, I was sitting in here, I was smoking with my mom, and we were just chatting, and I had a fish bite. And I had upgraded my lure line, so I had like 140 feet of line or whatever. And this fish took that shit all the way out, and I got it to come back in to like 115, and took it all the way back out, brought it back into like 125. I fought this fish for like fucking 10 minutes, a whole joint and a half. I fought this fish, and it snapped my fucking line.
No.
And I was like, I am just going to assume that was Moby Dick, because I am going to be so mad if that was like a fucking 3-pound trout that just gave me that hard of a goddamn time. That's another thing that I think this game could improve on. Like we talked about the casting, the reeling mechanic. I I don't know why, but I kind of spoiled, I guess, by Red Dead with like the reeling speed being you twirling your right thumbstick. So like just holding left trigger, I don't know. It seemed a little lackluster to me. Though I feel like your line tension and like flipping the thing, I don't remember the name of it, but flipping your drag really made a fucking difference in this comparatively, especially to like even Ultimate Fishing Simulator. I feel like it was more of a challenge in this.
Yeah,
I agree.
Drag settings and trying to avoid your line snapping on you, especially when you're really close to fishing some up, because some of them have kind of like a last hurrah. Like, I feel like that was what made the actual reeling a lot more interesting in this game. Like, it's just the actual fight with the fish was a little bit more involved.
Yeah, and pulling up on the rod actually did something. Like, that was an actual like useful mechanic, whereas I feel like in Ultimate Fishing Simulator it was more just for show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like fish fucking fight in this game.
Yeah, I was really surprised that just a silver ranked muskie puts up like the fight of your life when you're still fishing with basic, lower level equipment.
Yeah, and it is just, man, some of them, like, I reeled in a fish and I was like, okay, this is probably going to be a 4 or 5 pound fish. And it was like 2 pounds. I was like, man, that thing's on roids.
I mean, it's very varied by the species of the fish, too. I feel like it does a pretty realistic job with that. And, like, within each species, too, each fish is categorized by, like, a ranking system. So, like, a juvenile, a bronze, a silver, a gold, or a diamond ranked fish. And just getting at least a silver feels really good.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I have to say about this game, it feels a bit grindy to me. So, things are capped behind levels, and you gain levels by doing things to get experience points, like such as finding landmarks or things to do on the overworld map or catching fish. But, like, fish, you can't get the better equipment until you hit a higher level. So it takes a long time to go through those levels to get some of the things where you can really start catching the big fish, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also the economy kind of made less sense to me than in other fishing games, because this game is strictly catch and release. So I'm not exactly sure how you explain me catching the fish and being given credits or whatever. Like, it makes less sense than in Ultimate Fishing where you're selling the fish and you get money for it,
I guess this isn't a simulator, though, so that's okay.
No, but I honestly do feel like Ultimate Fishing Simulator is more arcadey than this game in a lot of ways. Because
I actually agree with you.
Ultimate Fishing has like cartoon superpowers, basically. Whereas in this game, really the only mechanic is leveling up so you unlock new equipment. You don't even gain any stat perks or anything from leveling up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your only like ability to see the fish is like you hold a button and it does the equivalent of squinting.
Yeah.
And looking at your lure.
Yeah. Another thing I want to do is I want to give a big shout out to whoever wrote the names for the achievements in this game.
I have those pulled up right now. Yep. Bro, yeah.
It's like the first one you get just from catching your first fish is fish just got real. And it's REEL.
Nice.
Yeah. 92.2% of players have that achievement. So there are 7.8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 7.8% of players that have never caught a fish.
Dalton, on the Epic version, only 80% of players have that unlocked.
But see, on the Epic version, a lot of people got that for free.
Yeah.
So like I can see 20% logging in and being like, I can't figure this out, and logging out. But like people on Steam, it's like, motherfucker, you paid for that. And you walked around and were like, meh. But oh yeah, dude, like some of the ones I'm looking at, I'm on a boat, getting a boat for the first time, ready to rod and roll.
Yeah.
You assemble your rod for the first time. Can you smell what the rod is hooking?
Brilliant.
That's my favorite one. That one was so good.
This is the best fucking maybe the best name of achievement I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's the one that made me really grin and want to go over more of these achievements. And a couple other good ones are like, hey, good hooking.
Yes.
And just like, I don't know. It's just really well done. License to Gill. It's like so stupid. Like, they're dad jokes and achievements, and like that is everything that I would have done if I were to have written achievements for a video game. So I'm just very happy with them. And like if you buy a boat, the achievement is I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now. If you complete the beetle infestation warden missions, you get one called the Beetles.
Yeah,
Fish upon a star. Lake me up before you go.
That's so good. That is so good.
Yeah, dude, they're fucking they're just tremendous. One last one, Lost and Flounder. Love it. Yeah, playing this, and then like I know we didn't get a bunch of multiplayer sessions in, but I can see us doing more in the future. I really am interested into seeing what you guys will think about the Hunter eventually.
I'm excited to try that one for sure.
This game definitely got me really interested in checking out the Hunter, which we also have, and ready to rock on that one whenever.
Yeah. Honestly, guys, if we do another long game, feel free to throw that one between. Like, we don't have to do the polls. We can do what the fuck we want. This is our show.
That's fair. Like, and the Hunter, yeah, it's like your basic gist of like big open fucking area.
Yeah.
The only issue with the Hunter is like it's very much simmy in the fact that excuse me, I had to burp. It's very much simmy in the fact that like your wind direction can matter. I think on the harder difficulties, if you make too much noise, that does matter. So like you can get an ATV and travel across the reserve or whatever, but when you're starting to get near where you want to be, you're going to want to hop off that ATV and hike it in. And then when you're getting close to where you're tracking a call or you're tracking poop and tracks and stuff, you're going to want to crouch and start moving. And that makes it even slower. So you're creeping at that point. But when you nail like a 10-point buck and you get that, it just feels so fucking good. So like it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of appreciate that extra realism too, because one of the things I really liked about this one is Ultimate Fishing Simulator really did feel like it had a lot of things that it would display information about and then just completely discard it when you actually played the game. Like the depth you set your line to didn't seem to matter at all in that game. You were catching bottom feeder fish with the 2-inch off the bobber float rig.
Yeah. I do feel like Ultimate Fishing Simulator just threw fish at you sometimes. Yeah. And I do think they've done some things since the new developers took over and BitGolem left to try to kind of make it more realistic. But honestly, that game just keeps getting worse in my opinion. So,
it's a bummer.
Yeah. But then again, the other issue is like the thing that's really cool about Ultimate Fishing is like you said, the environments are smaller and less detailed and less interesting environment per environment. But there's also like 20 different places in the world you can go to. Whereas like if you only have the basic file in this game, you're literally just in one place in Wyoming with 21 total different kinds of fish. And while the environmental differences are really awesome, like it really is like you're either fishing for trout or you're fishing for bass. It's very, very straightforward.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been nice to be able to break it up a little bit and do some ocean fishing.
But the thing is, I'll say about this game, though, is fighting a bass in this game feels different than fighting a bluegill in this game. I cannot say the same thing is true in Ultimate Fishing Simulator. Every fish fights the same in UFS.
Yeah. It's just like the strength of them pulling your line out is basically the only difference. Whereas in this one, it's like some fish really fucking resist you, whereas other ones give it more in spurts.
Yeah. Some of them fight you at the end. Some of them fight you the whole way through. Like, I definitely know when I was trying to hook a sunfish earlier today, I was mostly getting crappie on the line. And then every now and then I would get a yellow perch instead. I'm like, okay, this is definitely a perch because it's not doing what a crappie does.
Exactly. So I think this game does a way better job of fighting fish than that.
Yeah, I fully agree. Like, I think that the 21 different fish are different fish in this game instead of skins and stats,
Exactly.
And we never even got around to fishing legendary fish. None of us even caught a diamond. I think between the three of us, not counting the one free goldfish you get, I think we only have like 2 or 3 gold catches.
I would say that's probably true.
Like, there's still a lot of room for us to grow in this game.
I would really like to explore Norway more, too.
Yeah.
Same. Oh, and
because
I really want to shout one thing about Wyoming, too, is there's so much... there's only 2 characters in the game, and they both have crazy amounts of personality.
Yeah.
Like, the game warden in particular, like, he's kind of a bit of a, like, at first he just comes off as a friendly but slightly eccentric, like, game warden, but he's got, like, this whole, like, philosophy and political viewpoint and all that. Like, he's really, really Luddite. Like, you find out the further you get in that he thinks humanity basically jumped the shark when we invented the water wheel.
Yeah, he's, like, super against the sawmill and the watermill.
Yeah.
And all of that. Like, yeah.
He's furious at the dam, and like, I mean, but he also seems like his heart's in the right place. And a lot of what he talks about too is just wanting to preserve nature as it existed, kind of feeling remorse for land that was taken away from the original native tribes and all of that.
I feel like the only way he'd be okay with that dam is if a beaver built it.
And like, there's also the tackle shopkeeper who you don't usually hear from much during the game, except she's the one that yells at you if you try to walk into the water.
Yeah.
We're here to fish, not being fish.
Yeah. You're not being a fish. What if I want to be a fish?
Yeah, so the game does not let you walk out into the water very far. So there is that. Like, not a lot of wading fishing unless you're, like, getting yelled at. But then there's other stuff, too. Like, there's island inside of a lake type things where you can even boat up to that, which is kind of neat. There's a lot of really varied terrain. Like, I'm super impressed by the terrain.
Yeah.
I would like a fishing game to include net fishing. Mm-hmm. Like, not like it is in Ultimate Fishing Simulator where you're trawling. Or no, it was Dredge that you trawled with.
Yeah.
In any case, like, I remember as a kid, my grandma would, like, wade out, like, waist deep or so and just throw her net and then pull it in. Throw her net. That woman used to catch so much fucking fish, dude. We'd get fresh flounder, all kinds, and she'd bring it home and fry it up, and oh, dude, it was so fucking good. But, like, that's a viable way to fish.
Yeah.
You know? Like, but what do I know? I'm just a boy.
Fish like a bear, baby. But yeah, then there's other fishing techniques too. Like Nathan brought up that he used a lot of lure fishing instead of float fishing just because it's a little bit more active. Interestingly, I went the other way around. I did a lot of lure fishing and ultimate fishing, but in this one I tended, because it takes a while to get a bite and it makes a good little noise when you start to get nibbles, I actually would like put on a YouTube and do float fishing and just kind of watch the YouTube a little bit.
Yes, sir. Same here.
But there's also bottom fishing, which I just started doing before we basically recorded, so I haven't actually really practiced it very much. But yeah, there's that. And then I think there's one other. I think it's bait casting, or is bait casting bottom fishing?
No, it's bait. Is there fly fishing in this game? Because that'd be a
there is fly fishing. That's the other one, yeah.
Bait casting is just a type of reel, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, but I believe it is the bait casting reel that you do bottom fishing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried bottom fishing. I could never get a fish to bite with that rod. I don't know what the fuck I was doing wrong.
I remember trying it and just it wasn't clicking with me, and I wanted to go to bed. Then I never got back into it. Like, I went right back to float fishing. So
my ass was like, "Oh man, this lure wants me to do something other than just reel it in slowly. I'm not going to use it."
I got pretty good at the stop and go after a while.
Lift it, put it down. Lift it,
jigging.
Put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I didn't like the jigging. It just made me dizzy, like the way the camera did.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anything else you boys want to touch on? I will say they did a good job at animating the fish.
Yeah,
like the fish are pretty. Which I expect nothing less because their animals in The Hunter are very impressive as well.
And I appreciate they let you do it because you couldn't at all in a UFS. And this game was kind of minimalistic, but I appreciate the fact that it existed. But you could do your character customization, make your character look a little bit more unique. Yeah.
My character just ended up looking like Pete from She Heals I Tank. Shout out to, I don't even think that podcast is a thing anymore, but shout out to Pete. I miss you, buddy.
But yeah, that's about all I got for you.
So, you want to do some ratings, or are we just going to continue the thing of not rating
so
fishing?
That's our dark secret, is we kind of forgot to give scores to Ultimate Fishing Simulator. And now I feel like it's been so long that I would be too tempted to score it comparatively, which doesn't seem like a good habit, you know? So I think Ultimate Fishing...
I can't rate it now.
Yeah, we just can't rate it anymore. The moment is gone.
That said, I say we do rate this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was just making a fun. Let's see. I think I'll go first on this one. I did enjoy it. I haven't been in the best headspace So there was a lot of times that like I would have this game open and I would be fishing, but I would be half paying attention because I'd be like watching something to get my mind off of things. So I have to, put that in as a caveat. But I did enjoy my time with it. I can foresee more time into it, and I would like to eventually get the other DLC if they're on sale. Because I think going to fish in Spain would be fun. Yeah. And I don't remember
South
the
Africa.
other one, but it's I think Africa. Yeah. Which would be cool too, because I've seen river monsters.
Hell yeah!
Like, let me get a legendary fish that's half the size of the river I'm fishing in. Like that'd be fucking cool. But overall, game's beautiful. I really like the world. I like the fact that there's collectibles. The legendary fish being in there is another one that's just tremendous. Gives me something to reel towards.
Hey.
So I'm gonna give this a solid 8 tackles out of 10 tickets.
That's fair.
Whoever wants to go next. Yellow shirt.
Honestly, man, this is weird. I wanted to play this game to do a lot of fishing, and I ended up doing pretty much all the non-fishing stuff more than the actual fishing. I did find the fishing weirdly relaxing, mainly because I think the sound in this game is really good. It's just little things like the sound design and the way that the lakes and ponds and stuff look different from each other, just like different colored water and all that. It felt like you were in different places. And earlier today I was just out at a fishing lake. I didn't actually do any fishing, but I was sat there for a while, and I was like, man, this really is just like in the game, except with the wind and the air smelling and things like that. And I don't know, as far as a simulation goes, it was pretty good. I did also find the actual the fishing part a little bit grindy, and I kind of started to dread doing some of the missions at some point. So I kind of got this really mixed bag where I think I liked the things in the fishing game that weren't the fishing more than the fishing, but I did also like the fishing. So I think I'm just going to end up giving this a kind of don't know what to give it score of 7.5 spinners out of 10 crankbaits.
Yeah. I think both of you guys are super fair with those ratings. So, the interesting thing about it is the more video games I play, the more I'm kind of getting to the point where I like my fishing games to be a part of a larger video game. So, there's so many times where it's like, oh, hey, cool, look, I can fish for 20 minutes and then go back to playing the game that I'm playing.
That is also kind of why I like the open world aspect to this game, though.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that they had to do that, something like that, to keep this game to be fresh and interesting, because, I've logged into UFS a couple times recently, and I'm just kind of bored, don't feel like doing this for very long. This game can keep my attention a little bit longer, and I don't know, that's just because it's fresher and new, because I haven't played this one, but I like it. I think it has its flaws of being a little bit grindy. The casting mechanics really do need to be improved upon, in my opinion. But, it's gorgeous. The fishing is actually fun. The fish are cool looking. I like it a lot. I'm kind of in the same place. I'm just going to split the uprights here and give it 7 3/4 bluegills out of 10 largemouth bass, just because I kind of think it's just as good as you two do, but I don't want to give it the same number, so fuck you.
That's fair. And I can agree. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the reasons that fishing in Red Dead clicked with me so much. Because it's I could go out and fish, but then I could also go hunt, or I could go rob somebody, or, there was different things to do. You weren't railroaded into doing one particular.
Yeah.
Though if you wanted to rob a railroad, you could do that as well.
That's true. Quickly, before we move on, because we're speaking of simulators, apparently one of the most simulator games I have ever played is getting a sequel. According to Gamatsu, a short trailer for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has leaked. Trailer confirms a 2024 release across PS5, Xbox Series, and PC.
Nice.
The official reveal is April 18th at 11 a.m. So today. So it just leaked beforehand. But Kingdom Come Deliverance is one of the most sim games I've ever played. That is a medieval peasant simulator. You are not the Dragon Ball. You are not the world's savior when you are a fucking blacksmith's son who can barely wield a goddamn sword until you like learn how to use it. And that game is fucking hard. Even when I use God mode, I still have like fights take me like 10-15 minutes because swinging a sword in that game is a pain in the dick.
Fair enough.
But it's a good game.
Hell yeah. So, fellas, I kind of decided to be a little bit cutesy this week and take a page out of our good friend Dane, Mr. Puzzles himself's book, and I put together a little bit of a quiz for you.
Yay!
Woo!
Quiz facts.
So I thought you guys might enjoy my little fish facts quiz.
Yes!
So, all right. So let's just jump right on into it. How about that? So, first question I have for you. There's currently a tie for the world's record largest largemouth bass, according to the IGFA's rules. The first was caught in June of 1932 out of Montgomery Lake, Georgia, and weighed 22 pounds and 4 ounces by George W. Perry. Also at 22 pounds and 4 ounces, but is technically fractionally heavier, the tie-making largemouth bass was caught in July of 2009. Where was this fish caught?
Also caught in Montgomery Lake.
Okay. What's your guess, Dalton?
That was also going to be my guess, but I'm going to make it a different place. Lake Michigan.
Okay. You guys would never have gotten this one unless you do it. The correct answer is Lake Biwa in Shiga, Japan by Manabu Kurita.
Okay.
It's got a large distribution for these fish.
Joke answer and go Lake Minnetonka. But honestly.
Yeah, it's actually in Japan. I don't know how it got there.
That's cool.
I'm pretty sure it must be a stocked pond or like a stocked like resource or something like that. But yeah, it's actually from Japan. Pretty neat.
Well, you know, according to Ultimate Fishing Simulator, you can catch koi carp in Japan that are like 150 pounds. So,
all right. So that's your first win. So your second question: which fish does not appear in the Golden Ridge Reserve in Call of the Wild the Angler?
Okay.
Bluegill, golden trout, mountain whitefish, kokanee salmon, or a striped bass?
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
bass.
stripers. I think it's just largemouth and smallmouth.
Ding, ding, ding. You both got that one right.
Yeah.
All right.
I knew mountain whitefish was in there because I feel like I caught them every time I wanted something else. Like that was the fish that was the consolation prize of fish.
Yeah, that's definitely the garbage fish of this game.
It's like your pumpkin seeds in Lake Betty in Ultimate Fishing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I caught a mountain whitefish. Oh, that's crappy. No, it's a mountain whitefish.
Got him. All right. So I figured if I left this next question, it's kind of a goofy one, but I like it because I didn't want to include sharks because everybody knows the real answer would be a shark here. So, what is the largest extant species of fish that is not considered a shark?
Oh man, I have one of two.
Yeah, I've got a few ideas too. Largest non-shark.
Repeat.
Yes.
So just any fish, but it's just not a shark.
Right, because the answer would be whale shark otherwise, so I didn't want to make it that easy because I feel like everyone knows that.
Would it be a sunfish?
That is close. That is in like the top 5. I think it's it actually might be number 2.
I had two things that was going through my head, and I have a feeling I'm going to say the wrong one. My guess is coelacanth.
No.
Nope, they're not that big. They're just old.
So
they're just old.
I have another guess.
Okay. My other guess.
Is this let me ask I guess this would be kind of a hint thing. Is this a trick question with the word shark? Okay. Because I remember somebody telling me one time that a whale shark was actually a fish. And I'm like...
Yeah, but sharks are fish too. It's just not a whale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Grouper?
Nope.
Alligator gar.
Oh.
Nope.
Damn.
Catfish.
No.
The biggest cat.
Damn. Okay. I'm out of guesses. I've seen some big catfish.
Yeah. But... nearly 7,000 pounds.
Is it a tuna?
Fucking.
No, it's not a tuna.
Marlin?
No.
Damn. Okay, I'm out.
The giant oceanic manta ray is the largest living fish that is not a shark.
See, I was thinking it wouldn't be a traditional
rays.
fish body plan, but I was sitting here like, I don't think squids count as fish, and that's as far as I could get.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that being a fish, but I saw a video the other day that was like, this is how big a manta ray is next to a person. And it was like, mother of God, that is a big creature.
More like a several manta ray.
Before I looked it up today, I thought it was the sunfish, Dalton.
I mean, it's as big as the sun. That's pretty big.
I was like, that's the big derpy fish that I know.
All right. Question 4. Which one of these video games does not have a fishing minigame? And by minigame, I just mean, can you fish in this game, period? Okay. Yeah. So is it Disney's DuckTales Remastered, Terraria, Nier Automata, Sonic Adventure, or Shovel Knight?
Okay, I know 3 of them definitely have them. Can you give the list again?
Disney DuckTales Remastered, Terraria, Nier Automata, Sonic Adventure, and Shovel Knight.
Okay.
My answer is DuckTales.
Yeah, that's what I had too. I think it's a trick question where you're getting us to think they added a fishing game in the remaster and they didn't really do it.
That was it. Correct. That is, well, I said that one. Because I also threw in Shovel Knight because you're like, oh yeah, you can fish in Shovel Knight. Mm-hmm. Did they add something like that to DuckTales Remastered? That's kind of,
that's
that was
clever.
my thought for us. All right. I numbered my questions wrong. You guys have 9 questions.
You originally said there were 7.
There's 9. All right, the next question. The second question I have labeled as number 4. As of 2021...
This is question 4 of the after years.
In the year 2021, this was the most consumed fish in the U.S., according to the National Fisheries Institute.
Oh, God, I have 2 immediate obvious ones. The most
in the
Is
US.
It by poundage, or...?
Yes, it's by pounds. So not by individual fish, by pound. So it's not a trick question to make you say anchovies.
Okay, yeah. I was looking for a trick question there, yeah. I wasn't thinking anchovies, but I did have... That does weight my decision differently. I feel like I'm thinking way too basic, I think, but I feel like there's 2 things I have that it... There's 4 things I think it might be. Shit.
I'm trying to weigh what you can buy in the store versus what people order.
Yeah, because there are definitely 2 like everywhere fish that I'm thinking of.
And I will say that the list I got this off of was seafood, but I picked the one that was the highest poundage of fish per person on here. So, like, the number 1 on this list was shrimp. Okay. But it's not shrimp.
Not fish. Got it. I guess I should go first because Dalton.
If it does help, this was number 2 overall for seafood in the U.S.
I have 2 guesses, and I'm just going to go with the first one. Is it tuna?
Okay, I'll let Dalton say what his guess is, too.
Okay, so you went grocery store route, so I'll try to go restaurant route.
That was one of the 4 I had in mind. Yeah, I thought salmon was very likely.
Yeah.
I was thinking that or mahi.
I didn't have mahi-mahi. I had those 2. I had the possibility of either cod or tilapia.
Those are both good guesses, too, but the correct answer was salmon.
Damn.
At 3.38 pounds per person.
How close is tuna?
Damn.
Tuna is number 3.
Okay. Yeah.
At 1.9. Tilapia is number 4 at 1.04. 5 is pollock. I don't know what the hell 6 is. Pangasius. 7 is cod. 8 is crab. 9 is catfish. And 10 is clams.
I think Pangasius is a Mario Maker streamer.
Damn it.
Is that a just a strictly U.S.
Yeah, that was
thing?
U.S.
That could be... Okay. I was going to say, that could be a fish that they eat, like, in China, and that would just be skewed because of how many people live there.
No, that was definitely a list for U.S. All right. Okay. Next question. Order these hook sizes from smallest to largest. There's 3. The 3 hook sizes I have are 8, 2/0, and 4.
Okay.
Largest to
smallest to largest.
Or smallest to largest.
Okay. I've written my answer down, so I can't change it.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't write it down.
That's what I
say
mean.
mine first
I
since
have
yours is
mine written down. You say
Oh, okay,
yours,
okay,
I'll say what
I
I've
got
written
you.
down.
8, 4, 2.
Yeah, so I believe that it goes like the Q and Don system in martial arts, where it goes down in size and then up. So I have also 8, then 4, then 2/0.
That is correct. Yeah, and 3/0's bigger than 2/0. Yeah.
But 3 would be smaller than, or 3 would be larger than, hold on.
4.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. What is the fastest fish?
Oh, fuck. I feel like I actually knew this at one point.
Fish fast.
Oh, fudge. I think at one point I actually did know the answer to this. Is it a swordfish?
Okay. What do you think, Dalton?
I'm pondering.
Pondering his orb.
I'll hold my hands up so you see I'm not tired.
I trust you. You high bastard.
I'm not holding my hands up. I don't want you guys knowing what I'm doing.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Oh man, I have to specify what kind. I was gonna say marlin, but there's a few different kinds.
You boys are definitely both on the right path. It is the Indo-Pacific sailfish. I'm going to give it to both of you guys. Because that's all very, very similar family fish there.
Big fin, strong tail.
Long noses.
Yeah.
Big pointy nose.
The Indo-Pacific sailfish in particular has been clocked at over 68 miles per hour.
Damn, what's the top land speed of a cheetah? I'd love to see that race.
I don't know. Well, put one in the ocean, one will win. Put one on land, the other will win.
It's the old Aquaman argument, huh?
All right. Now, your next question, second to last question.
So number 14.
Yeah. So there are 2 acceptable answers to this question. So therefore, I am not going to give this a multiple choice. What is Dane's favorite fish?
Holy shit.
Dane is from Texas.
Tilapia.
Dane is from North Carolina.
Texas is in North Carolina. North Carolina is just basketball, Texas. Go away.
Dalton's dying right now.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I'll say tilapia. I'm not sure that's right, but I just love saying
fried catfish.
Fried catfish. All right, you're both wrong. The 2 correct answers: to eat flounder.
Good choice.
Fuck. That was my second guess.
For a pet, a betta.
Yeah. As long as you do it right, that is a fun fish to have. It's a pretty fish. Just don't let it kill other animals.
Yeah.
Like if you got a cat, that thing will pop out of the tank at night and strangle that fucker. Like, be careful.
That's why they call him the garrote wire of the ocean.
All right. And the last question on the quiz. Which of these cannot be caught while fishing in Yakuza 4?
Oh, I haven't done fishing.
It's a multiple choice question. Is it a marlin, a briefcase, a grouper, an oarfish, or a prawn? That's a marlin, a briefcase, a grouper, an oarfish, or a prawn.
I mean, my immediate brain goes to briefcases and a fish, but
you get junk in those games
because it's
Yakuza.
Yakuza.
I know I caught a coral branch last time I fished in Yakuza.
No, I just meant like the actual, like a briefcase is not an actual fish. But I think I'm gonna go. I don't think they have grouper in Japan.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've caught prawn in a Yakuza game before, so I don't think they would have just removed it. The other choices that were actually fish were oarfish, marlin, and grouper, and then there was a suitcase as a junk item. I'm going to go with the marlin.
And Dalton takes this one. It was the grouper. There are a few items you can catch that are not fish while fishing in Yakuza 4, such as the briefcase and the umbrella. So yeah, and that was the quiz. I think I wasn't keeping score at home.
win.
You might have won, Dalton. That sounds good to me. I just hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was fun. I like
the real
quizzes.
winner was the dinner we made along the way. It was fish.
Winner, chicken dinner. And you know what time that makes it, boys? It is time for the fan questions. 34, you dyslexic fuck.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be notable if it was 12:43, would it? You're right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Sorry. So we have some backlogs in the fan questions, some that have been sitting for a couple of weeks and some new ones. So let's just jump right into this. The first one is from Adam, which is for Willie. Who is your favorite JoJo's protagonist? Adam's is Giorno.
Giorno's a good pick because I feel like the first couple guys were like just straight up good people, and then like it gets like weirder over the course of the series. Like the third dude is kind of a high school delinquent. The fourth dude is, also kind of a high school delinquent, but more of a scumbag. And then the fifth one is an Italian mafia member. And then the sixth one literally starts out in prison for murder. Giorno has a ton of personality, and I really love the way he interacts with all the other characters. I kind of want to take a cop-out answer here and go with Joseph, but specifically old Joseph from the later ones, where he's no longer like the wittiest and like sharpest, but he's just a weird old dude who causes a lot of problems and occasionally is really, really smart. Like, it's just a lot of fun.
Is he titular JoJo?
He's one of.
Oh, okay. I know nothing about the show.
The characters' names can all be abbreviated to JoJo. The first one was Jonathan Joestar, and then the second part was Joseph Joestar. And part 3 is Kujo Jotaro. Part 4 is Part 4 is Josuke. Josuke Higashikata, but his real name is actually not Higashikata. And part 5 is Giorno Giovanni. So it's Jojo. It's like Italian.
Gotcha. Nice.
Okay.
Cool.
His name is Gio, and he's the main character of the show.
But Giorno's the part 5 guy. He's fun. He's interesting because like we've been playing a lot of Yakuza games, so seeing a character who's like the upright dude trying to kind of take over the mob to reform it is kind of fun,
Yeah, like it. All right, sounds good. So our next question, I kind of want to do this different than the way he sent it in.
Okay.
So Jeff, this next one's from Jeff, and Jeff, we're getting to your questions, buddy. Yay! If you were to create a Final Fantasy team of 8 people from video game characters from other games, not just in Final Fantasy, but video games in general, who would be on your team? What I want to propose is let's do a team of 9 people. We each pick 3.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 9 each would be here all day, but 9 total? Okay.
Yeah,
so
okay.
3 characters from any video game franchise, right?
Yeah.
I was immediately going to be like, oh, yeah, that's easy, man. Donald, Goofy, Tarzan.
That's easy, man. Donald, Joe, Barack.
So why don't you give us one? We'll go Willie, Dalton, me, Willie, Dalton, me, Willie, Dalton, me.
Okay, well, we need roles for one thing, so...
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you define what this person would be doing.
Right. I think I'm going to probably lead out with like a weird specialist type or something, because that way we'll have room for, a bruiser later on. So let's see. I think I would like to put in the role of the summoner, kind of like Garnet from 9 or Rydia from 4, Ash Ketchum.
Nice.
With his little bag of Pokeballs, so he can summon
That's really
them.
good.
And then the summon combat would be like in 10, where you temporarily lose party control, but take control of the summon.
That's cool. I like that. All right, Dalton, what you got for us?
Was there a class? Oh yeah, Dark Knight. I was thinking like it was a black mage but physical. Dark Knight. 2B.
Yeah.
As a Dark Knight, I think would be very interesting.
You like that? All right. So the one I have coming up first, just as a strictly damage output mage type character, we're going to go Spyro the Dragon.
Oh. Spyro the Dragoon.
Okay. My goodness. He was born to kill his own kind.
But I like the idea of Spyro just blasting people, using that as his magic powers.
Hell yeah. Give him a tragic ass backstory. Yeah, that'd be tremendous.
Let's see. I always have enjoyed the thief character who has some good DPSing, but isn't necessarily very hardy. And I think this would be a great spot to slot Lara Croft in.
Okay. Yeah,
I do like that.
So we need a healer.
Yes, we desperately need a healer.
And I feel like who better to heal you than somebody who could make you smile in the darkest of times, because she is just such a charismatic character. So I believe that our white mage, or as we should call her, the purple mage, is Nep Nep.
So you picked Nep Nep and not Nep Jr., the one that actually has healing magic.
Yes.
I'm for it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because that is the absolute way it would go in Nep Jr.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like it. That's really good. So my next is, I feel like we need like just your overall hero, your protagonist, your paladin type, right? Our paladin is Kiryu Kazuma.
Of course. Makes a ton of sense to me. He'd have a very varied palette of maneuvers and all that, and he definitely has main character energy. Love to see it.
Yeah.
I think next up we're going to need a tank, and I would like my tank to be one of those characters that's serious but has the potential to be comic relief, kind of like Steiner from 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my choice for this would be Zangief.
Oh, that's really good. I like that a lot.
To round it out, for me, I've always loved, so I've already mentioned a Dark Knight. I've always loved Samurai as well. That was another one of my, like in Final Fantasy XIV, that's my main class is Samurai. And part of me wants to say Raiden, right? Because like that's a good fit.
I was tempted to put Raiden in kind of the ninja type role too.
The nostalgia factor for me, there is only one samurai for our party, because I have seen him whip many a ass. And that, my good gentleman, is Yoshimitsu.
Oh, all right.
And he has the jump ability, and he hops on his sword. Like, I think that would be tremendous.
Nice. All right. And my last pick, because every Final Fantasy, we're going to have an airship, right? So we need somebody to like act as the engineer type character.
Yeah.
The Cid, exactly. We need our Cid. Our Cid is the red crewmate from Among Us.
That's mad suspicious, dude. We've got a real freaking Wreck-It Ralph ass party right now.
As soon as I thought about that, I was like, that has to happen, right?
God damn it, who killed Ash?
That's the imposter.
I think I saw Laura vent.
He has the ball with Ifrit.
All right. That was really fun. Thanks, Jeff. I like the way we kind of split it up. I think that made it a little bit more fun.
That worked a lot better than me trying to come up with 8 dudes myself.
Yeah.
When the fuck did I ask this question?
This next one comes from Dalton. You asked this one on March 21st, so it's been almost a month.
You smoked a lot in a month.
And I'm going to repost the picture in chat, but which one of these Disney princesses would win in a Mortal Kombat tournament? And it's basically all of them. I know who the correct answer is, I feel like.
Okay. I was thinking I asked this without context of a meme. So, like, my brain's just going, like, where did I come up with that? Okay, that makes more sense that there was a meme attached to it.
Like, if you guys want me to go through them real quick, it's Rapunzel, Mulan, Pocahontas, Elsa, Anna, Cinderella, Snow White, Merida, Tiana, Belle, Ariel, Jasmine, and Snow White.
Well, one of the things is this is Mortal Kombat, and in the Mortal Kombat games, you are allowed to bring weapons as of, like, Game 3 or 4, honestly, but especially in the newer ones. So, like, Mulan could come fully stacked with a sword and some fireworks, you know?
Yep.
That's what I was thinking, is that Mulan has training, but at the same time, like, there's literal Sub-Zero in that lineup. Like, I don't see it, like... Yeah, Mulan might cut your fucking head off, but it's if you can make it to her without getting frozen to death. I gotta go Elsa.
I actually 100% agree. Elsa is my answer as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really hard to beat ice magic. I mean, I guess Tiana has access to kind of magic too, sort of, maybe, and that she knows people that does magic.
Yeah, and I guess that Merida knows people that turn into bears, so she has a cool animality ready to go.
I was thinking that too, yeah, but...
Dude, I was sitting here thinking as well, like Rapunzel, fatality, choking the motherfucker to death with their
Shiva
hair.
or Sindel in 3 have a move where they wrapped their hair around the opponent and then spun him to death? Oh, Sindel.
Yep, Sindel. Yes, sir. Also, like, Ariel could, like, cut their throat and then turn into a fish bottom and then, like, kick their head off with tail fin.
Jasmine could sick Raja on him. But, yeah, it's Elsa's game to lose.
Yeah. Elsa and Mulan are the only two that could really have a dog in this fight.
This is really basically the point where we're trying to figure out why Superman would get beat, you know?
Yeah.
Although I guess if it was Guerrilla Warfare Mortal Kombat, girl with the red hair is pretty good with the
Yeah.
Yeah, if the question was
Merida,
Hunger Games, I like Merida a lot.
Yeah.
But the question was specifically Mortal Kombat tournament.
All right. Next one comes in from Jeff, and it's part 3 of his big, long, crazy, your games for each console's thing. So what was your first game for these consoles? This time it's the Microsoft consoles. So I'm going to be very limited on what I can say for this one. What was your first game for the Xbox? Mine was Halo.
It was probably Halo. I think Halo was like the...
Mine was a snowboarding.
But I was just going to say, it was the killer app. It's if I went over to a friend's house and was playing Xbox for some reason, it was to be playing Halo.
By the time I got my Xbox, I got 2 games with it, and it was Amped 2, I believe, which was a snowboarding game. Which, fun fact, one of the coolest things I've never seen in another game is in Amp 2, you could get a skateboard that had a ski on the bottom of it, and you could skateboard down snow hills and stuff. It was really neat.
Skateboarding.
And then I also had Halo 2.
Skeet.
Skiboarding, yeah. Skeet. Oh, skate, grind! But yeah, that and Halo 2 were the 2 games that I had for Xbox.
All right, Xbox 360, I got nothing.
Dead Rising.
Man, my first game for 360.
Also, Dead Rising was the game that first got me to buy an HD TV because I couldn't read the text on a standard definition TV.
Ah, nice.
I don't remember what my first game was for it, but I'm going to say the game that I can remember vividly playing on it that was life-changing was the first Skate.
Then me and Nate, I think we never played an X-Bone or an XX, so I think we're good.
Yeah, Xbox One, Dalton.
I had a buddy of mine who had an Xbox One, and it was one of the UFC games that I played on it.
And the series.
I don't think I've played
All right. Cool. Yeah, it's so funny because I feel like there was such a time where like everybody had Xboxes, and I just never was the one, and then I just feel like Xbox kind of fell off. But anyway, next question also is from Jeff. If you were to come up with your own idea for a flavor of chip, what kind of chip and what would the flavor be?
I have had an answer for this question. It's like I've been waiting for somebody to ask me this for the longest time, right? We talked about them during the Patreon. I think a Philadelphia roll. You just make a chip that tastes like cream cheese, crab, and chive.
Yeah, just put some Old Bay seasoning on basically a sour cream chip, and you're like half of the way there.
True.
Yeah. Although, like, the Utz crab chips, you really got to be a fan of Old Bay to eat those. Like, that's all they taste like.
I feel like you want to lean into Japan on this, ask them for help, because they've been making seafood-flavored crackers and crisps and stuff for a very long time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice.
Okay, I'll go next. I love those little pretzels that have peanut butter inside, but what if you had pretzels with peanut butter and milk chocolate inside? A Reese's pretzel, if you will.
That sounds really good.
Literally just thought of it like seconds ago, and I'm like, why doesn't this exist?
Hey, here's mine, and it's kind of like I'm mixing two things together because, like, I really love a tortilla chip, you know, like a Dorito. Like Doritos are like so good, but I also like a traditional chip flavor, like a barbecue. So what if I could get kind of like a sweet heat barbecue flavor on a tortilla chip, like a Dorito sweet heat, like barbecue.
I have a bag of those sitting on top of my fridge right now. Barbecue Doritos.
Really?
That thing.
I've had the barbecue Fritos, and I can imagine it's a similar taste profile. I'd like that.
I'm going to have to go try to find those, Dalton.
Same.
Nate, they're fucking delicious, bro.
How could they not be?
You should really try to think that. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to look for those next time I go to the store.
Also, I just noticed this. I got to give props to Nate for showing up wearing a t-shirt that references both fishing and podcasting. He is nailing it.
Yeah. While we're talking about chips, and you mentioned tortilla chips specifically, Doritos used to have a chip. They for a little while, they did the thing where they were doing late night flavors. They had a jalapeno popper Dorito, and it was so good because it was just jalapeno and cream cheese is what it tasted like.
Yeah, I missed that.
And then they got rid of that. Like they just were like, oh no, it's a limited time thing, and I was like, fuck you, they were delicious. I found the Totinos. You know how they do like the little round Totinos now? Or Tostitos, excuse me. Tostitos, not Totinos. The little round versions. There is a habanero flavored Tostino that when I tried it for the first time, I was like, oh my God, this tastes just like the jalapeno popper Doritos. So like, but a little spicier. So like, that's my go-to now. When it comes to corn chips, I'm getting those fucking habanero Tostitos. Give them to me, baby.
Nice. All right, this next one I want to skip around a little bit. This next one comes in from Fenris. And Fenris says, Star Wars Outlaws looks like it's going to be a great game. But Ubisoft, they want to buy it. But granted, the base game is still $70. The Gold and Ultimate are $110 to $130. Even if the price is lower, they hate the concept of season passes. What are your thoughts on this potentially amazing game from the super shifty company? Will any of you be pre-ordering it?
I would rather barbecue my own dick than buy a $70 Ubisoft Star Wars game.
I mean, that's the thing is, I don't really give a shit about Star Wars anymore. And, like, I feel bad saying that, but like, I just don't care about Star Wars anymore.
It's not that I zero care; it's that I don't $70 Ubisoft care.
Yeah, like I can get behind Ubisoft in a few ways. Like, I think some of their games are good. Like, they just are. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, all those things put together, definitely not in, especially not at that $110 to $130 price range, not even at the $70 for me.
Yeah, I like Ubisoft games. Like, I don't hate them like everybody.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, there's pretty clearly already an Ubisoft formula in a lot of the open world games that I'm getting a sense for, but that doesn't mean I don't like them at all. It's just I'm not paying full premium.
I don't want to pay full price for an Ubisoft game.
Right. I'll play Blood Dragon. I had fun with that. If anyone gifts me Assassin's Creed or I find it on super sale sometime, I'll play the shit out of that. But I'm not paying $60 for that shit.
Yeah,
I don't like paying $70 for any game. Like, that's just me. Like, I'll do it. Like, I spent a good amount on 2K24, but like, I don't see myself going out of my way to get that because I bought the Cal Kestis game, Fallen Order, and I've played a little bit of that. It's fan-fucking-tastic, but I haven't gone back to it because it hasn't come up for the show or anything. So it's like Outlaws. Maybe I'll play it somehow, sometime, and see how it is. But I don't see myself pre-ordering it. No.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Next one comes in from Jeff and posting a picture in our chat right now. One has to go. It's either going to be the grapefruit juice, the carrot juice, the grape juice, or the pear juice. And I don't think if that image went through or not, but whatever. You guys get the idea? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got the image. One of these has to go. Well, I'll tell you what. Personally, looking at this, I'm like, delicious, delicious, delicious. That is a fucking urn of heartburn. So, I'm getting rid of grapefruit juice.
Yeah, I have this beef with grapefruit. I just hate grapefruit in general, so anything I can do to get rid of grapefruit, I'm getting rid of grapefruit. Fuck off, grapefruit juice.
Grapefruit just, like, I can see the point of it kind of, but no one even drinks straight grapefruit juice. It's always like a cocktail that has other sweetener and like from concentrate. You want to be tempted to say pear juice doesn't sound like much, but pear juice is low-key really common in those mixed fruit drinks. Like, if you like V8 Splash, it's got a lot of pear juice in it. It's an inoffensive base that can be used to build other flavorings.
It's like that and apple juice, or like anytime you get a juice, it's like those two are prominent in most of juices.
And grape juice and carrot juice have, like, I could drink those like every other day and not be too upset by it, whereas I would basically be bracing to drink the grapefruit juice. And I say that as someone who enjoys grapefruit halves. I will eat halved grapefruit and spray myself in the eye and whine about it and have a great time. But no, grapefruit.
So which one did you get rid of? Huh?
Everyone got rid of grapefruits.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do 2 more questions before we wrap it up tonight, and they're both going to be from Adam. First one from Adam. And the answer for this is going to be no, because we tried to come up with this for the, we talked about doing this question essentially for the Patreon section, and we decided we did not have enough to go on to make this a Patreon section. So the question, do you have any real life fishing experiences to share? We're just going to drop that one out.
Dad.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have one that I can tell, and it's literally like I went fishing with a buddy of mine and his uncle, and we were standing on the beach, and because it's Florida, there were so many fucking mosquitoes on the beach that, like, the rest of the fishing trip, we were fucking miserable because mine and my buddy's legs were just... At one point, I looked down and it looked like my legs were polka dot, white and black. There was that many mosquitoes on me. Like, shit sucked, bro. That was with bug spray. With bug spray.
Florida.
The closest thing I have to a real life fishing story is I remember one time when we were kids, me, Nate, Mom, and Dad went fishing, and Mom made tuna fish sandwiches, and I can't help but think in retrospect that really gave us unrealistic expectations for what we might catch.
That's funny. All right, the last one I'm going to do this week. So Kana, Jeff, we'll catch you next week with a couple left. But the last one from Adam this week, and you have another one for next week too, because I think you met this one for Yakuza 4. But the last question from Adam, will any of the TSMP crew beat their backlogs before they die? Hell no.
No.
I have accumulated my backlog for the inevitable point that I am not able to spend money on video games anymore, be that children or just life situations. But at this point, I have amassed so many games, I do not think that I would beat all of them.
I just don't think it's physically possible at this point.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, I'm 32, and just on PC, I have over 2,000 games. Ain't gonna happen.
Yep. All right.
That's for the math. If you had 2,000 games and you beat a game a week, that would take you about 40 years.
All right.
So if I didn't ever buy a game again, I could beat my backlog by the time I'm an old.
And you didn't have a job.
You didn't have a job, and you aren't counting games like Kingmaker or Persona that take 2 years to beat anyway.
Oh yeah, that you can't beat in a week. Oh man. All right. Does that mean
take us home, Dalton?
Oh shit! Let me find the right tab. All right, there we go. If you would be so kind and go leave us a review at iTunes and Spotify, that would mean the world to us. A 5-star review on iTunes goes a long way with helping us in the algorithm for people to find the show. And because all three of us are really not great at promotion, that would help us out a good bit. And word of mouth also. Tell your friends about us. That would mean a lot. If you want to join the Discord, that's where all the fun stuff happens. It's bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. Come and join there. I should probably start posting on Twitter/X more often. But I don't. But it is at Steam_podcast, I think is what it is. It's been so long since I've looked on there, but I think that is Steam_podcast. Or just search the Steam Machine Podcast and you'll find us. If you would like to check out the website, which is kept up to date by Dane, bit.ly/the Steam Machine Podcast, capitalized phonetically. That'll take you there. You can find all of the episodes and whatever show notes he decides to add and all of that good stuff. if you would like to join the Patreon, which is patreon.com/the Steam Machine Podcast, you can donate to the show, and it really goes a long way in helping me. Basically, at this point where I'm at right now, the Patreon is helping differentiate the difference between what I spend in gas to get back and forth to work and what my mileage check is. Because my mileage check is about half of what I actually spend on gas at work. So yeah, Patreon has been helping out a lot. Patreon.com/the Steam Machine Podcast. $1 a month or more gets you the episodes early, ad free, and you get the little Patreon section in the beginning of the episodes. That's just for the people who are kind enough to donate. Like this week, we talked about our favorite seafood dishes and food and things like that. It always seems to be popular when we talk about food. People love that
very
shit.
Popular. Most people eat it.
It's almost like you can't live without it.
If you donate $10 or more, you can get your name read out on each and every episode, like these wonderful people. Nate Sir Cogsworth, the 7th of June-iper, Jeff, the original Expendable, Mr. Syllables, old Jeffy Lube, Ariesoradam, shout out to his podcast, Revival and Extinction. Go listen to the back catalog of that. It's good stuff. Team Retrogue, go check him out over on YouTube. Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself, Chad the Mad Lad, no goddamn C in his last name, Shaffer, and Flyin Brian, Doran, or as I call him, Doran Gray. Yeah, man. What else? Let's see. Shout out to Yabs Pod. If you want to go check out the archive of that show, it is available at, wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to the JRPG Report. We have been relatively busy, so there hasn't been one that's dropped last week, but Mikolov was going to record a solo one tonight and send to me to upload, so we'll see if that happens. If so, that'll be coming out soon as well. If you want to get a shirt, tsmpproductions.threadless.com. Adam just got his shirt in. It was looking sweet, so thank you for getting some merch, good sir. You and Connor are twins now. And if you like the show music, go check me out over at nilethenightmare.bandcamp.com. Let's get those numbers up. I think my last album, I sold like 1 or 2. Let's get that up to like 10. Come on. You guys love me. Those numbers, let's get those. Those are rookie numbers. Let's get those numbers up. And again, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. We're available, I think, wherever you can get your podcasts. Other than Google Podcasts, I keep getting these notifications when I'm listening to podcasts. It's like, are you listening to this on Google Podcasts? Well, just so you know, that shit's going away. So, but I don't use Google Podcasts because that was a fucking nightmare of a product. Either you boys got anything you'd like to plug?
Go outside. It's fun.
Hell yeah.
And when you come back inside, check out Fallout. It's a good fucking show. And Nate, go buy some barbecue Doritos. They're fucking delicious.
Gonna find those.
And that just leaves that in 2 weeks, we'll be back here to talk about some Yakuza 4. And then I believe after that, it's going to be Willie's choice.
Don't ask what I'm picking. I don't know yet.
That is fair. That is fair. We will get that figured out in post. So I guess that just leaves one thing. And that is, for the Destructo Bros, I'm Dalton. And everyone out there listening in all of TSMP land, take it easy.